Who and what are Nagas? Naga is the Sanskrit word for cobra, and in most of the languages of India, Nag means snake, but especially the cobra, even though some translate it as a being with no arms and legs. A female Naga is a Nagini. However, surprisingly so, the word sometimes refers to an elephant both due to its snake-like trunk and association with the forest-dwelling peoples of northeastern India, also called Nagas. The Hindu elephant god, Ganesh, is often shown wearing a Naga as a belt and many times appears under shrine trees outside of rural Indian villages. However, it is largely agreed that the strong serpent cult legacy that still appears in both Hindu and Buddhist practices originates from the early Indus Valley civilization around 2500 BC, where tribes called Naga existed. There are also Naga Hindu and Tantric sects, which took up the serpent cult as a way of being, but they are not necessarily fixed to any particular location. It is thought that the serpent legacy was absorbed into Buddhism at an early date, whereby they inherited much of their ancient Indian symbolism. In Indian mythology, Nagas are almost always associated with Lord Shiva, and therefore most of their images are found inside temples dedicated to him. Shiva is always found with a Nagaraja, Naga King, around his neck and is often shown with snakes all over his body. However, snake worship, known as ophilatry, is an ancient tradition that has been practiced all over the world, and not only by Indians, as we have seen in the many world mythologies associated with snake symbolism. Traditionally speaking, Nagas are a class of long-lived, serpent-like, semi-divine awakened spiritual beings, described in Hinduism and Buddhism as masters of wisdom. Well respected for their prodigious powers, beauty, skill and great courage, but sometimes feared for their violence and quick tempers. Just like humans and other beings, they have their own type of perception and vary in their level of enlightenment. The venom of a Naga or Nagini, albeit deadly, also carries the elixir of immortality. So like many of us, they are a double-edged sword. Living extremely long lives for millennia, they are neither considered mortal nor immortal and can eventually die. Also able to change into human form at will, most Nagas, however, appear as snake-like creatures typically depicted in classic iconography as attractive, richly adorned, bejeweled, or inspiring men and women with a human upper body and serpentine tail below their waists. They are, however, always recognizable by the glowing gem on the top of their head or forehead, which can grant wishes and manifest their powers. To top all of this off, 3, 5, 7, or 10 or more expanded cobra hoods are situated like a crest above their heads, like a kingly crown. Often considered as symbolic for the various layers of the human psyche, this condition of part animal, part human, part god refers to consciousness in a state of awakening awareness, whereby part of it exists in a base or ordinary state of lower, animal-like instinctual qualities, another part of it in a state of awakening knowledge, like a human being, and another in a higher, enlightened state that may be achieved through conscious effort. Naga being. Indeed, in Tibetan Buddhism, Nagas are called Nu and occupy one of the 3 worlds described by the great Indian saint, Padmasambhava, who presents us with a neat self-expression of the psyche. Nuyul, the Naga world, refers to the realm below. Mayul, the human world, is situated in the middle, and Layul, god or celestial world, above that. This kind of theriomorphic form can also be traced back to the Indus Valley civilization of ancient India, where on a surface level, the number of hoods they display may have originated from the number of estuaries of the ancient Indus River. In this tripartite layering of the cosmos, the Naga realm is depicted as beneath that of the human and also represents the darkness or unknown of our subconscious. However, Nagas are also supposed to be very wise and eager to teach and to also be the guardians of texts containing information about the enlightenment process. This is synonymous with our own reptilian brain that is said to hold the key to this process, but must be unlocked in order to gain access to the knowledge stored within it. In standard iconography, Nagas are commonly white in color, but are also individually colored to correspond to their 5 castes of society or to the 8 great Naga kings. They can be large or small, can change size and mostly appear with one face, 2 hands, often with their palms folded in appreciation or offering jewels. A Naga may offer you a jewel as a condensation of a potential wisdom experience. The jewel, perhaps a lapis lazuli the size of your fist, acts as a portal for you to enter a dimension or experiential place where a revelation awaits. Nagas can breed with humans, and this divine human marriage is recounted repeatedly in Hindu and Buddhist scriptures, as well as in royal histories throughout Asia in particular, their snake ancestry often confirming their legitimacy as royalty. Tibetan lamas and Chinese Buddhists have assimilated dragons with the Nagas of Indian mythology. These primeval flying Suryans of geologic times, now known only through the sporadic fossilized remains that have been found around the world, are considered as the crashing of thunder in the sky caused by them awakening and rising out of their seabeds, disturbing the elements to fly across the sky as a flash of lightning. In a more mystical sense, the lamas, like the Chinese, believe their appearance to symbolize the entire world. Its head is the heavens, its eyes, the sun, its back, the crescent moon, its wings the wind, its feet the earth, and its tail the trees and plants. In the Buddhist sense, Nagas are the underworld guardians of the treasures of the earth, minerals, gemstones, and other riches, but are especially credited with safeguarding key spiritual texts and concealed teachings. Having been a Naga in a previous birth, Gautam Buddha had an extremely good relationship with them and had asked them to keep the Prajnaparamita Sutra text safe until humanity was ready to receive it. It was the great 2nd century Indian Buddhist master and philosopher, Nagarjuna, whose name itself means the great Naga, who eventually received this hidden treasure text, known as a Dharma, from them during a special visit he made to the Naga realm. Nagarjuna also received his illuminating insights and tantric empowerment with the help of the Nagas living in the lake beside which he meditated. Called The Second Buddha, partly in tribute to his having established the Madhyamika that offers a philosophy of middle way thinking. He is traditionally portrayed with a sunshade or halo formed by a multi-headed serpent, and in Thankas is always shown seated upon a throne of serpents. Nagas are said to have raised their hoods to protect the Buddha and other spiritual victors like the Jain saint, Parshva. They are also said to have washed Gautam at his birth, protected him during his life, and guarded his bodily relics after his death. However, at least 1500 years before Buddha Shakyamuni's enlightenment, when Michilanda with his many heads sheltered him, the mythic image of Nagas doing homage to great yogis was already well known. Somewhat confusingly, Nagas are sometimes called elephants, possibly through association with their long trunk, and are also said to be the progeny of Airavata, a primordial elephant god that emerged from the ocean of milk in the Hindu legends. It says in the Mahabharata, Airavata is the Naga lord, the king of snakes, and adds that the Nagas number in the tens of millions. The tradition of Sera monastery holds that when Sakya Yeshe was on his way back from visiting China, it so happened that the set of Tangyur, Buddhist scriptures, donated by the emperor fell into the water while the party was fording a river. The travelers could see that the texts were hopelessly lost, and so, distraught, they continued on their way back to Sera. When the caravan finally got back, the monks told them that just before their return, an old man with attendants had visited the monastery and was delivering a set of scriptures for Sakya Yeshe. It was believed that the old man was really a Naga king, for when the texts were examined, it was found that they were still a bit damp. Where do the Nagas come from and where do they live? Generally, Nagas are considered to be powerful, magical serpent beings dwelling in a variety of locations ranging from the underworlds below land and sea, aquatic realms of rivers, lakes, wells and oceans, as well as inaccessible mountain caves and subterranean caverns often located where there are geothermal vents and hot water springs providing pockets of warmth to protect them from harsh weather conditions. The entrances to such places are said to be marked by ant hills on the surface of the earth. Further to this, they are also considered as unseen beings associated with water and fluid energy. The land of the Nagas, called The Saparanya, is considered totally forbidden for outsiders. The Agni Purana says, under the earth is the underworld. This too consists of 7 regions. In the Hindu Puranic legends, all Nagas are considered to be the offspring of the rishi sage Kashyapa, who is said to have produced diverse progeny by his 12 wives, including reptiles, birds, and all sorts of living beings. Garuda is a large legendary humanoid bird that appears in both Hindu and Buddhist mythology, whose father was also Kashyapa. Kashyapa had 2 wives who were sisters, the Nagas being the offspring of one of them, Kadru, and Garuda being the child of Vinita, the other. Due to an act of treachery by Kadru, the Nagas are said to have become the mortal enemies of Garuda, who is also known as Destroyer of Serpents. Kadru gave birth to 1,000 serpents, each with many heads, who populated this immense region of the underworld many miles deep inside the earth in an opulent celestial city on 9 levels called Patala or Nagaloka, the realm of the Nagas. This subterranean realm is rich in treasures with beautiful palaces surrounded by jewel-encrusted forts, whose interior exceeds 8,000 square miles and whose outer doors are 40 miles high and steps at its entrance, decorated with gems and gold. Its capital, Bhogavati, is filled with numerous palaces, houses, towers, and pleasure gardens where they live luxuriously in sensual delight. Legend says that if one drinks from a pond in Nagaloka, the water will give you the strength of 1,000 elephants. Mandala of Naga universe according to Kriya Yoga Tantra. The archetypal image of Shiva and Shakti, or Bodhisattva and Yogini in the Buddhist tantric sense, is 2 mating serpents interwoven as a caduceus, an image found in tantric art and on many different Naga stul. In complete union as the great Naga, Kundalini, they are the center of the Naga universe. Arrayed about them are the 8 Naga kings shown at the center and the 4 Naga Dikpala guardians guarding the 4 quarters. Nagas are divided into a 5-fold system based upon the Hindu caste system or social order. In the east are the white Kshatriya or warrior caste, in the south, the yellow Vaishya or merchant class, in the west, the red Brahmin or priestly caste, in the north, the green Shudra or laborer caste, and at the center, the black Chandali outcasts or untouchables. Wrathful Buddhist tantric deity. While the Hindu Puranas describe these 8 great snakes as Ashtanagas, 8 great Naga kings are commonly listed in the Buddhist tradition, and in Buddhist tantric art and ritual, wrathful deities commonly wear Nagas as one of the 8 great attires of the charnel ground, known as The, revolting snake ornaments. These consist of pairs or clusters of ferociously writhing, coiling and hissing poisonous serpents, worn as body ornaments by these wrathful deities or as being crushed underfoot. The coiling white serpents of the warrior caste are wreathed around the half Vajra on a wrathful deity's crown. Clusters of yellow serpents of the merchant caste hang on a coil as the deity's earrings. The deity's necklace or sacred thread is formed from a wreath of red serpents of the Brahman caste. As a sash or chest garland, the deity wears an entwining bunch of long green serpents of the laborer caste. As bracelets, armlets and anklets, the deity wears encircling wreaths of small black snakes, which represent the outcast or untouchable caste. The color spread bears resemblance to the 5 Dhyani Buddhas that are associated with highest tantric yoga of Tibetan Buddhism, their 5-color placement corresponding with the traditional directions of the 5 Buddha mandala, with blue-black Akshobhya at the center, white Varochana in the east, yellow Ratnasambhava in the south, red Amitabha in the west and green Amoghasiddhi in the north. Each one embodies one of the 5 wisdoms, antidotes to the 5 deadly poisons that keep man tied to worldly existence. The 3 most important Naga kings are named Shesha, Vasuki and Takshaka. Shesha, also known as Ananta, is the eldest and supreme of them all, the absolute king of all Nagas, an avatar of enlightened consciousness. As the couch on which Lord Vishnu lies, he represents the concept of eternity and is said to support the entire weight of the earth. Vasuki is the ardent devotee of Lord Shiva and has the gem, Nagamani, a universal panacea and bestower of fortune, on or rather, in his head. Whereas Takshaka is mentioned in Book 1 of the ancient Indian text of the Mahabharata when it is said, Uttanka replied, Sir Takshaka, the Naga king, disturbed my work, and I had to go to the land of the Nagas. Further to these 3, Karkotaka has immense magical powers and Pingala is related to a mythological story of 4 great treasures, and then there are Padma, Mahapadma and Kulika, making up 8 Naga kings in total. Their chief is Varuna, a Vedic god, who is not a serpent and not always necessarily solely associated with matters of only Naga interest. Vasuki's sister, Manasa Devi, the serpent goddess, is mostly identified with both the cobra and Kundalini and is said to be able to cure any snake bite, indeed, any adversity. Some stories say that she was the daughter of Lord Shiva himself, who always wears cobras as decoration around his neck. Although it is not clear whether the Rig Veda speaks directly of Manasa when it mentions Serpent Queen, metaphorically speaking, Serpent Queen may refer to the earth herself. How Nagas interact with humans. Nagas can have a beneficial, neutral or hostile influence on human beings and are susceptible to suffering created by mankind's carelessness and basic ignorance of proper conduct in nature and disrespectful actions in relation to our environment. Therefore, Nagas often retaliate towards humans when they behave in such ignorant manners whereby pollution of their environment or disrespectful acts, such as urinating or washing soiled clothes in a Naga-inhabited stream, can result in expressions of their discontent as skin diseases, various natural calamities and so forth. Yet, Nagas are also heavily associated with water, living in subaquatic abodes, serving as protectors or guardian spirits of rivers, lakes, reservoirs, and seas, and controlling rainfall and fertility. In this capacity, they are often referred to as Nagarajas or Dragon Kings. Like their Chinese dragon counterparts, Nagas are responsible for controlling weather, often causing droughts by withholding rain, and when they are propitiated, can reverse the effects, causing beneficial results. Additionally, Nagas can bestow various types of wealth, assure fertility of crops and a balanced environment, as well as deny these blessings. For this reason, the practice of Lusang in the Tibetan Buddhist tradition has been developed as a natural method to increase prosperity and assist the Nagas by preserving the positive qualities of their natural environment.